Hi everyone, welcome to For Car's Sake, where I like to talk about the automotive industry, specifically in Australia. The other day I saw the news about the new Hyundai Kona launching late 2023 in the form of a petrol, hybrid, and BEV. I personally can't wait to see this new car in the flesh, but from the photos, I got to say, they look very familiar. I'll let you be the judge. The exterior looks very much like a smaller version of some Chinese EVs. Kicking off with the Xpeng. Here's the back of the G9. Here's the front. Notice the DRL as well as the headlight design. Here's the side profile with a few different body lines. But overall, it looks very similar to me, and if you were to tell me the Kona is a baby version of this, I probably would believe you. The next car that looks very similar to as well is this one, the Lixiang L7 as well as the L8. All these SUVs have this very similar look these days, with the daytime running light design and the long tail light design. I guess this is the new trend, so all of them look very similar. As I thought about it more and more, I reckon the hybrid will likely be the most economical choice out of the three. As details are still limited, a lot of assumptions were made using the current Kona and the recently removed Ioniq sedan. Stick around if you want to see how they compare financially amongst competitors and which one comes up on top 5 years down the track. One competitor certainly stood out among the others by being a whopping $18,000 better off. Let's get started. Given this car is not here till the end of 2023, I've based my numbers on the current Kona and made assumptions about the Kona hybrid. No surprises here when we look at the spec. The Highlander petrol and the BEV has basically no difference except for 17-inch wheels and a slightly narrower tread pattern as well, most likely to reduce friction in order to increase range. As I mentioned, because the hybrid isn't currently available, I am speculating that it is going to have the same level of spec as the Highlander petrol. And to see how competitive they are, I'm also adding two additional competitors, the HR-V hybrid and the Corolla Cross Atmos hybrid. As we can see, comparing the current Kona BEV, both of them have quite a few additional spec. If you've never seen the magic seats in the HR-V in person, I highly recommend you have a look. It is amazing how versatile it is, and when folded down gives you similar interior carrying capacity as an SUV one size bigger. However, it does also lack in a few spec. In particular, one passenger seat capacity. Yes, that's right. In case you don't know, the current generation Honda HR-V is a four-seater in Australia. And only in Australia. So I guess it makes it a bit of a limited edition. It also lacks premium or branded audio as well. So to you, that might mean something pretty significant. Now let's get into the juicy part. Kicking off with drive-away prices. The current petrol Kona Highlander is at $53,500 drive away, and the Kona Electric drive away at $69,000 for the extended range, a difference of $15,800. Currently, BEVs still have a $15,000 to $20,000 price premium to their equivalent ICE. So let's see if their legendary low running cost could help break even on this comparison. Starting off with servicing. Thanks to Hyundai's prepaid 5-year servicing, we know exactly how much the first 5 years of servicing is. And I was quite surprised, to be honest. There is only $150 difference between the two. You prepay for the service during the purchase of your vehicle, which is quite convenient, as you'll be able to finance it as part of your car repayment as well. Next thing is the registration ZLEV road user charge in Victoria and yearly insurance as per below. Due to the ZLEV road user charge, your BEV yearly registration is currently more expensive than an ICE. There is talk about abolishing this, but we shall see, because the government will still need money for maintaining the roads. As for the insurance, I used the same assumption of a 30-year-old male driver living in South Bank, and thus up to 15,000 kilometers per year. The average kilometer driven is 12,400 kilometers, as per the Australian Bureau of Statistics. This is what I used for the ZLEV road user charge, and also to calculate fuel or electricity consumption. The Kona petrol averages 8.3 liters per 100 k's in the urban test, which is what I use to reflect a more realistic comparison. Per year, you'll be expecting to pay $1,850 in petrol at $1.80 per litre. As for the Kona Electric, this is where the cost of electricity could vary, as there is peak versus off-peak charges at home, solar tariff in rebate, free chargers, 50 cents per kilowatt fast chargers out there, etc. So I'm just using a low 18 cents per kilowatt off-peak charge to calculate an average, where I believe the majority of people will recharge their cars overnight during off-peak hours. And as we can see, this is where yearly running costs varies by $1,500 per year. And when we tally all this up, in the total 5 years of running costs, including servicing, Rego, insurance, and fuel, we can see there is a difference of $5,510, proving it is cheaper to run a Kona Electric versus a petrol in the first 5 years of ownership. But we need to keep in mind there was a price difference between the two cars. So take away the difference in drive away, total 5 years ownership, $3,000 government subsidy if applicable to your state, you are still $7,306 behind should you buy the electric. But you could say in 5 years' time, depreciation will more than cover your $7,000 difference. If that is what you think, I recommend you check out my other video where I tackle this very question. According to Redbook, both the Kona Electric and petrol have a very similar depreciation between 26 and 28%. And I do apologize, it was not my preference to use 2022 model as a reference, but the HR-V hybrid launched in 2022, so if I used a 2018 model, it would be a different car and it won't show a fair comparison in depreciation. So between the Kona Electric and petrol, we can see basically with all the running costs considered, the petrol saves you over $7,000 in 5 years of ownership. And by the end of 5 years, the BEV will need to be worth $7,000 more just to break even. Remember, the new Kona will also come in hybrid. Well, I've done some estimation based on the recently discontinued Ioniq hybrid sedan, which seem to have the same 1.6 hybrid system. A $3,500 premium was applied in the drive-away price. The same prepaid 5 years servicing cost was applied as per the petrol. An average insurance cost between the petrol and the electric, which conveniently ended up as 1, 2, 3, 4. An estimated 4.5 liters per 100 k's. In the end, saving the buyer over $7,000. Very similar to the petrol. However, using the 2022 Ioniq depreciation of just 4.1%, this makes it very unlikely for the Kona Electric to ever break even. The low depreciation can also be seen in the HR-V hybrid and Corolla Cross hybrid. The HR-V also claims the fuel consumption in urban setting to be a low 2.9 liters per 100 k's. However, with both of these hybrids, I actually used the higher fuel consumption on the extra urban test for this calculation. And despite that, we can still see the HR-V will save you a total of nearly $18,000 in cost. Which means for the Kona Electric to break even, it will need to be worth $18,000 more by the end of 5 years. Similar case to the Corolla Cross hybrid, which did well at $14,000 saving in 5 years. My personal choice will definitely be the HR-V hybrid. However, you must keep in mind it is a lesser vehicle, being a 4-seater with less equipment as well. Financially, I find it very hard to believe this will be worth $18,000 less than the Kona Electric in 5 years' time. So what do you think? Do you agree with my choice? If you like this type of content, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And if you have any comments, please feel free to type in below. Until then, I'll see you next time. Thank you.